Hey guys, thanks for joining me for this video. I'm going to be talking about two different eyeliner pens in this video. And I've had kind of a mixed experience with eyeliner pens in the past. There have been a couple that I've used that I really have not liked. There was one from Physicians Formula and also the CoverGirl Line Exact, I think it's called. It's kind of like a short little pen. I really didn't like those too much because I felt like they didn't last me nearly as long as they should have. Like the liner just dried up way too fast, or either that or it just wasn't effectively moving through the felt tip pen type applicator. So when I went, and the last one I tried was the Revlon Color State one. So when I tried this, I was kind of skeptical. I was like, should I even mess with this again? But after using this for quite a while, the Revlon Color State liquid eye pen really stayed working well for me for a very long time. I was very impressed with how long it continues to work today. It's got a very nice applicator. Just everything about it works really well. It works well even over shimmery shadows overall. You know, it does a pretty good job. So I'm still happy with that, but I decided to test out a couple more because they were each kind of their own little style here. One is, they're both from LA Girl, and one is called Fine Line, Long Lasting Fine Tip Liquid Eyeliner. So that looks like this, and this is what the tip looks like. It's like the smallest little tip ever. It's such a fine tip there. And I'll talk more about whether or not I like that in a second. But the other one is Mark My Eyes Long Lasting Extreme Bold Eyeliner. And this is more of a marker than a pen, and you'll see why. Does that not look like a Sharpie marker to you? It's just really a lot bigger. Even though it's tapered to a tip, it's not the super fine tip like the other one is. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about these different ones. Starting with the Fine Line. I really like how fine the line really is. It's nice and long wearing, and I didn't have issues with either of these in terms of smudging. Just to show you how fine the line actually is, just to draw it there. I mean, it's a very, very nice fine line. I think, you know, you could even draw it kind of quickly or do sort of a, you know, whatever you want to do with it. You can see how it kind of can vary there, but it's overall going to be a very thin line. This tip is a little bit fragile. The one thing I've noticed when I used it is, even if I'm not applying much pressure, see how, I don't know if you can pick up on this, see how that tip ever so slightly is now curving off a little bit in one direction? Maybe this is just me being picky, but when I draw with it, it turns like that. I don't like that. I don't see it lasting very long for that purpose. And I will update you guys on my blog as to how long these actually kept their juice in them. But that's one thing that worries me, is that this is almost too small and too fragile to last very long. Although right now, when it's new, it's giving me a great line, and the line is very long wearing. I haven't had issues with it like flaking off or getting dry and kind of like cracking off. I've heard people complain of that. There's a nice tight fit on the cap, so that's a good sign that the product will stay moist and not get dried up. Now the Mark My Eyes, that's what I have on today, and the line got a little thick here on this side, and it's really not as scary as it seems because the tip itself is not that big. I mean, it's got a relatively small tip to it, but with just a little bit of pressure, I feel like that's about as thin a line as you can get with it. Those two are this Mark My Eyes pen. So as you can see, I mean, it's just, that's the type of line you're going to get. Sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. This is nice, but you don't have as much control as you do with the really fine line. I feel like this is a little more durable, but I also feel like more often than not, I may not want the line that thick. And it did get thicker than I really wanted it. Like, I just pressed a little too hard. If I press just a little harder, I get an even thicker line there. And it's just a matter of, you know, what if your hand shook a little bit, or you just happen to press a little too hard. That's why this one becomes a little harder to control at times, but still you get a nice dark line. It is not absolutely like waterproof. The stuff will come off with soap and water, but still it does withstand, you know, a day at work or whatever. You know, it's not going to rub off, I don't think at all. So Anyway, bottom line, both of these are good products. If you're looking for a very fine line, this is good. If you like that bold, thick line, if you like to wear, nice and thick liner, this may be something to test out. These are inexpensive products available at cherryculture.com. However, to compare them back to the Color Stay, which is the best liquid liner pen I've tried so far, this is kind of middle of the road. This liner is not as fine as the other one, and not as thick as so you can see it right there. It's not as fine as these and not as thick as this, but this is a very durable tip that this has. Another thing that I like about it is how far that tip extends from the plastic of the applicator. The thing that gets to me kind of about this one, this is the LA Girl one right here. That tip doesn't come out very far, and when you're getting right in here by your eye, it's kind of hard. This one, the Revlon one, is a little bit easier to get right in there because the tip is longer. So just something I've noticed, you know, having used so many of these different products. But yeah, I hope you learned a thing or two about these. I think eyeliner pens can be really a lot easier for people to try, as opposed to, especially if you're just getting into liquid liner, instead of where it's kind of like the inkwell style and you pull it out and you draw it on. Those are great. Revlon Color Stay has a fantastic version like that, and I really like the NYC liquid eyeliner too. You get a very intense black color, but you may find those kind of hard to control if you're just starting out. So that's why these pens are very user-friendly. Just be aware of what's out there, what kind of line you're going to get with each, and the amount of control you have will vary. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.